The slap echoed louder than the clatter of plates. It was sharp, sudden, and cruel enough to make the entire diner freeze for a heartbeat, except the girl it landed on. She didn't scream. She didn't cry out. She just flinched, her hands tightening around the edge of the small table as if holding on to it was the only thing keeping her upright. If stories like this move you, if you believe kindness should always win, remember to like this video and subscribe, because what happened next is something the bullies, and everyone watching, would never forget. The cafe was called Rosie's Corner, a warm little diner tucked between a gas station and a quiet highway. Red vinyl booths, chipped mugs, the smell of coffee that had been brewing since dawn. It was the kind of place where truckers stopped, where locals knew each other's names, where time slowed just enough for people to breathe. On that afternoon, sunlight spilled through the front windows, touching the checkered floor and the small round table near the wall where Lily sat alone. Lily was 19, with soft brown hair she kept tucked behind her ears and eyes that always seemed to be apologizing for taking up space. Her right leg was weak from a childhood accident, and she walked with a brace and a slight limp. She moved carefully, deliberately, as if the world might shatter if she stepped too hard. Rosie's Corner was her safe place. Once a week, she came alone, ordered the same grilled cheese and tomato soup, and sat quietly reading or watching people pass by. The staff loved her. Rosie herself always slipped Lily an extra cookie when no one was looking. That day, Lily was halfway through her soup when the laughter started behind her. It was loud, careless laughter, the kind that doesn't care who it cuts. 3 young adults slid into the booth behind her, their jackets expensive, their voices sharp with entitlement. They spoke too loudly, cursed freely, and glanced around as if daring someone to tell them to lower their voices. At first, Lily tried to ignore them. She focused on the steam rising from her bowl, on the steady rhythm of her breathing. Then one of them noticed her leg brace. "Well, look at that," a male voice said, mocking curiosity dripping from every word. "Did Halloween come early?" Another laugh followed. A woman chimed in, "Bet she gets a discount for the pity act." Lily's shoulders tightened. Her spoon trembled. She stared down, hoping, praying, that if she didn't react, they'd lose interest. But bullies don't lose interest in silence. They feed on it. "Hey," the first guy said louder, leaning forward. "You hear us, cripple?" The word sliced through the diner. Forks paused midair. A waitress hesitated near the counter. Lily's face flushed, her eyes stinging, but she still said nothing. She'd learned long ago that answering only made it worse. That's when it happened. The woman stood up, walked around Lily's table, and without warning, slapped her across the face. Not hard enough to knock her down, but hard enough to humiliate. Hard enough to remind Lily that some people believed they owned the world, and she didn't belong in it. The diner fell silent. Lily's cheek burned, her vision blurred. Slowly, she reached up, touching her face as if unsure it was real. Tears welled, but she fought them back, because crying in front of people like that felt like losing twice. Rosie rushed from behind the counter, her voice shaking as she shouted for them to leave, threatening to call the police. The bullies laughed, tossed some cash on the table, and swaggered back to their booth as if they'd just put on a show. Lily stood, unsteady. Every eye in the diner was on her now, some filled with sympathy, others with shame for not doing anything sooner. She picked up her bag, her hands trembling, and limped toward the restroom, tears finally spilling over. She didn't know that the clock had started ticking. An hour passed. The bullies were still there, ordering more food, louder now, bolder. Rosie kept glancing at the door, hoping someone, anyone, would walk in and change the energy of the place. Lily returned to her seat eventually, face washed, eyes red, determined to finish her meal and leave with dignity intact. She deserved that much. Then the door opened. At first, it was just the sound. The deep, unmistakable rumble of motorcycles pulling up outside, engines growling like distant thunder. Heads turned. The door swung open again, and a group of bikers stepped inside. Leather jackets, heavy boots, weathered faces marked by years of road and responsibility. They didn't shout. They didn't smile. They simply walked in and took in the room with quiet awareness. The air shifted instantly, like the diner itself exhaled. One of them, a tall man with silver in his beard, noticed Lily first. Noticed the way she sat too stiff, the faint red mark still visible on her cheek. He didn't ask questions. He didn't need to. He gently pulled out a chair at the table next to hers and sat, offering her a small, respectful nod. "You okay, kid?" he asked softly. Lily swallowed, surprised by the kindness in his voice. She nodded, even though it wasn't entirely true. Another biker caught Rosie's eye and raised an eyebrow. Rosie didn't hesitate. She pointed, subtly, toward the booth in the back. The bikers stood. They didn't rush. They walked calmly, deliberately, until they surrounded the Bullies' table. The laughter died instantly. One of the bullies tried to smirk, but it faltered when he realized no one was laughing with him now. The silver-bearded biker spoke quietly, but his voice carried. "We heard someone here thought it was okay to hurt a girl who couldn't fight back." Silence. "You think that makes you strong?" Another biker added. "Because where we come from, it makes you small." The bullies stammered, tried to joke, tried to explain it away. But excuses sound hollow when the room has already judged you. The bikers didn't touch them. They didn't need to. Their presence alone was enough. They told them to apologize. Properly. Sincerely. One by one, the bullies stood, their confidence shattered, and mumbled apologies toward Lily. She looked up, heart pounding, unsure what to say. The silver-bearded biker nodded at her gently. "You don't owe them forgiveness," he said. "But you deserve respect." The bullies paid their bill and left in silence, heads down, the door closing behind them like the end of a bad chapter. The diner breathed again. The bikers returned to their seats. One of them ordered coffee for everyone at Lily's table. Rosie brought out a fresh plate of cookies. Lily sat there, overwhelmed, not by fear this time, but by something warmer. Something she hadn't felt in a long time. Belief. Before they left, the silver-bearded biker leaned down and said, "The world can be loud and cruel. But it's also full of people who'll stand up when it counts. Don't ever think you're alone." When the motorcycles finally roared away, Rosie's corner felt brighter somehow. Lily finished her soup, slower this time, savoring it. She walked out with her head a little higher, her steps steadier, carrying a truth no bully could ever take from her. Kindness doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it rides in quietly, stands firm, and reminds the brokenhearted that they matter. If this story touched you, if you believe standing up for the vulnerable can change lives, please like this video and subscribe to the channel, because stories like these deserve to be heard, shared, and remembered.